Welcome back to our study of the Way of the Bodhisattva. We are continuing in the second chapter, the Confession chapter, and we are on verse 44. No need to say how stricken I shall be, when overcome and sick with fearful dreadful fear. I'm seized by forms so horrible to see, the frightful servants of the Lord of Death. Who can give me safe protection from this horror, from this frightful dread? And then I'll search the four directions, seeking help with panic-stricken eyes. Now, as we were saying last time, this isn't the most pleasant thing to meditate on, but it's the most important thing to meditate on, because until we really feel what it's going to feel like to die, we won't take the Dharma seriously. And the more seriously you take death, the more seriously you'll take the Dharma. So it's something we have to look at again and again, and we have to really capture this notion that there's nothing to save us at that moment besides the Dharma, right? Nothing except for our virtue, and the Dharma will be of any help, because there's no one coming to help us at the moment of death. No one can pull us out of that situation. Once we've reached that time, it's time. And so we need to have prepared our mind for this moment. We need to be afraid of death now, so we're not afraid of death then. 46. But in those four directions no protection shall I find, and I shall sink into despairing woe. No refuge will there be for me. At such a time, what shall I do? Again, that there's no protection, there's no helper, there's nobody. Even the Buddha can't save you from death in the sense of plucking you out of the experience, right? You have to have trained your mind to be ready for this letting go. But if you notice, all that death is a letting go. It's a release of attachment, right? It's like you're going to have to give it all away. So it's better to give it away now, consciously, intentionally, before it's ripped out of your hands. And this is true of death, but every little death along the way. As we're parted from our friends, our family, our loved ones, our possessions, our wealth, these things will go away again and again. Our car, these things, they break down. There's always problems. There's always things being removed from us. So if we train our mind in an imaginative sense to let go, and then we train with the little letting goes, then when the big letting go happens, it won't be nearly as traumatic, and we'll be ready for it. And hopefully we'll be able to sit, upright in lotus posture and go like that, right? That's the intention, right? We want to have this intention in our minds and hearts. We want to be ready. I'm going to die like a badass. I'm not going to die scared and trembling. You want to set a good example for all those who might be interested in the Dharma you practice, right? Everybody knows you as the Buddhist. So if you're the Buddhist, then you're going to show, well, did this do anything for you? Did this path you followed? And we don't want to let the Buddha down, right? We don't want to give Buddhism a bad name. So let's train ourselves to be ready for that moment, just completely able to sever the cord and let go of this life with no regrets. That's what we need to be ready to do. And so we got to train every single day. Get ready to die. Every night we die, and every morning we're born again. And if we think that way, and at night when we really get in touch with the feeling, right? Because you are letting everything go. You do leave it behind. You go into your dreams and your family's not with you. And if they are, it's a different kind of version of it. So you can prepare yourself by dying every single night. Like, let go completely. You don't know you're going to wake up the next morning. So in a sense, you touch into that feeling every single night of letting everything go, letting go of your house, letting go of your loved ones, and just say goodbye to all of it. And so you train yourself like this. 47. Thus from this day forward, I take refuge in the Buddhas, guardians of beings, who labor to protect all wanderers, those mighty ones who scatter every fear. So what is the one thing that can give us refuge? First, the outer Buddha, then the inner Buddha, right? We need to train ourselves to take refuge by doing as everything we've been doing up until now, by saying, I'm no longer going to rely on samsaric phenomena. I'm no longer going to take refuge in those things. I'm going to rely on those things which are reliable. And the only thing that's really reliable is this wisdom and love, bodhicitta and awareness. All of these aspects of the Buddha's nature, right? That is our nature. We're taking refuge in that on the outside, and then eventually on the inside, and both at the same time. This is what we're working to, because through death, that is with us if we are able to do it. But what does it take to take refuge in our true nature? It takes letting go. Right? You can't grasp for the Buddha to help you. If you do that, you're now trying to reach something outside of you, and nothing on the outside of you can really help you in that moment. But if you are able to let go and settle, then that thing inside of you will save you. What you really are will save you, because that is indestructible. That is a reliable refuge. So that's what we need to make the connection to. Spend a time every day making offerings, making confession, connecting, taking refuge again and again and again. This is how we protect ourselves from suffering. Refuge and bodhicitta can be demarcated as one is done for ourselves. We take refuge for ourselves to free ourselves from suffering, and bodhicitta is to free others from suffering. And we need both wings, right? But first we got to save ourselves, and we save ourselves by taking refuge, not just saying the words, but truly training ourselves to rely on bodhicitta as our nature in the ultimate sense. In the Buddha is guardian of beings who labor to protect all wanderers, those mighty ones who scatter every fear. So why do they scatter every fear? Because fear comes from grasping. And so by being able to trust again and again, letting go into trusting the Buddha nature, trusting our real ultimate wisdom mind, by training ourselves to trust that every day, all the time, then when the moment of death comes and things are hard, right, you'll be ready to do it, right? That's because doing that is not easy in a moment of panic. We are all, I don't care who you are, when death comes, fear will happen. The body resists death, right? Like, unless you're really like Milarepa, you're going to feel fear, but you want to be able to relax inside of that fear. Train yourself now in the moments that you feel anxiety and fear. Train yourself to relax, even though your body is in a state of fear. Your mind can be in a state of calm. And this is preparing for death. 48. And in the Dharma they have realized in their hearts, which drives away the terrors of samsara. And all the host of bodhisattvas likewise, I will perfectly take refuge. These things are reliable. When we take refuge in the Dharma, which is the path, we know how to follow the path, the teachings and the trainings that we've been going through, shamatha, vipassana, bodhicitta, loving kindness of four immeasurables, all of these things will be helpful in the moment of death, because all of the Buddha Dharma, all of it, are skillful means to help us do that one thing, right? To take refuge in our true nature. But when we can't take refuge in our true nature due to various intellectual, cognitive defilements, emotional defilements, habits, etc., then we use skillful means like these other methods that help us relax, help us take refuge in this ultimate thing. So we'll take refuge in the Dharma at that moment. And the Bodhisattvas, those examples of those beings who had such heroic minds that just said, no matter what needs to happen, I'm willing to do it for the benefit of beings. That courage, by taking refuge in the Bodhisattvas out there, we can take refuge in that courageous mind in ourselves. So all of these things will be beneficial to you. That's why, like, the Buddhas can't pluck you out of death, but by being connected to them, we can connect to that part of ourselves that is not afraid of death, that part of us that is already beyond death. And we can have a strong relationship to that. And the stronger our relationship to that and the less attachment we have, the easier it will be to go. Right, so like the Dalai Lama said, in a lot of ways, the Buddha Dharma is just training for death. And I think that's really, really true. That most of us are not prepared for death at all. But Buddhists, we should be prepared for death. We should think about it all the time. And we should be ready to go at any time, because that's the truth. We don't know when. We don't know that we'll get to make it to old age. I pray that all of you make it to a ripe old age and you're completely ready to go. But I also pray that you're ready to go now. Whenever it happens, whatever you have to let go of now. Remember, this is an opportunity to practice not grasping at this illusion. It's not going to help you to grasp. It doesn't help you keep it. Like our stress and worry does not benefit us. It makes it worse. This is what the Buddha taught, right? The Buddha said you're going to have to go through the loss of experience, but all of the mental suffering is what's extra. So train yourself in this experience. Think about death. Meditate on death. Meditate on relationship to death. Have it show you what's important. Everything you do during your day, you can say, if I was going to die today, is this worth doing? And you can start asking yourself that about everything you do. If you keep doing that, you'll get clearer and clearer about what matters. And you'll really, be able to live a good life. And in addition, it'll make you appreciate things, but also don't turn it into, I'm so scared, and hold on really, really tight. Like that'll make it worse also, right? So we need to be like matter of fact about it. I will have to let this go. I will have to let this go. I will have to let him or her go. Be conscious of this all the time so that when it happens, it doesn't hit you like the freight train that it does for so many who have never thought about this. So I hope you're enjoying our study of the way of the Bodhisattva. I know this is the hard stuff, but this hard stuff is so, so important. Everybody skips it. So many people, they want to get to the fun stuff. They don't want to do the 4 thoughts that turn the mind toward the Dharma. But the 4 thoughts that turn the mind toward the Dharma are the juice behind absolutely the rest of the path. If you don't have that, you will never take it seriously. It'll just be a kind of hobby. But it needs to be the heart of the matter. And in order for it to be the heart of the matter, you need to know that your death and impermanence is a serious thing. You need to know your actions have consequences. You need to know that samsara has no happiness in it anywhere you look, from top to bottom. And you need to know that you have a really, really special, rare opportunity because you are in a human body with a human intellect and this text in your hands. I hope you're enjoying things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.